Hi, I'm Gabby McDyer. I work at Cara. I am a display associate on their Microsoft Cloud Enterprise team. I do digital displays for their developer platforms for everything that isn't on social and search. And I've been there for about 6 months now. So one of the cool things about working at Cara is they have a really innovative business infrastructure, and they're really one of the more innovative agencies in the grand scheme of advertising agencies out there. So one cool thing that they do is that they're actually part of what's called the Dentsu Aegis Network, DAN for short. And traditionally, different advertising agencies within the same network compete against each other for clients. So you could both be going for Microsoft, but you'd be outbidding your sister agency in a sense. Where at DAN, what they do instead is they partner them together to kind of create a more holistic and better rounded teams. So on the Microsoft account, I actually sit on 2 different agencies. I'm part of both Cara and iProspect, which you don't really see happening anywhere else. And with this innovation, they're able to bring in higher quality clients and in turn produce a higher quality product. And I think that's one of the things that really makes them stick out, and it's really kind of setting a new precedent for how new networks are being formed within the agencies. As like Group M is a big one, and they're starting to take after it a little bit. Ogre, people are starting to take notice, and I think by doing this, that's why they're able to be one of the highest grossing revenue agencies out there year over year. So another innovative thing about Cara and the DAN network is that they're really good about bringing their subgroups from being segregated into the agency brand as a whole. So at Cara, we have a couple. We have Women at Cara, we have one for the LGBTQ community, we have diversity and inclusion, and instead of them just like running their own little meetings within their selves and like the subgroup, they really bring it into like the whole network. So about twice a month actually, we have what we call a SICK meeting, where it's everyone in the New York office comes together and we focus on a different inequality that we want to reduce. So actually this month we have a training coming up about diversity in the workplace. So one of the things that like Cara is really like big on is making sure that diversity isn't just something that they preach, it's something that they practice. So we partner with the Co-op, which works with minorities that are typically underrepresented in the advertising field and people who might not have had the most experience in it, and help to get them their first jobs in the workplace. And then we also serve as mentors and as volunteers within the Co-op itself. So it's a really great organization that helps to make the workplace more diverse. And in the advertisements we run, we do make sure that they are quite diverse, and we even make sure that the creative agencies we work with are diverse, and the clients that we take on are. One of our beauty clients this week was actually in, and they had a panel discussion about how they don't care what type of hair you have. If you have straight hair, if you have a weave, if you have kinky hair, if you have curly hair, they just want to make a product that everyone out there feels like they can own and have as their own product, which I think is a really cool thing that like the advertising agency can have a hand in, or the advertising industry can have a hand in rather, is really helping to spread that diversity message and to break down those barriers. So Women at Cara is another work group that I'm involved in, and so we get together about twice a month and we discuss different issues that we face in the workplace, whether it be like sexual harassment, gender pay gap, how you can ask for a raise. We've even done like a self-defense course. This week we have a panel coming up with some of the senior leaders at Cara that are female, how they got there, how they dealt with some of these diversities that they face. And I think like having a group like that for like the different issues that you have that you can't really turn and talk to with everyone, I think is super important in like helping women be heard in the workplace. And I think it's really making strides to help reduce those inequalities there, with whether it be in the workplace or within the pay gap. So one big experience that really stands out in my mind since my time at Cara was we had a hackathon a couple months ago where we took different charities that have issues with advertising as they don't have the budget for it, and how we could work around them. And so from that hackathon, what actually happened was different teams were formed. So somebody from the search team came on board, the social team, the display team, somebody from analytics, somebody from ad ops who like checks to make sure that everything's like up and running okay, came together and formed a team where they're independently working on actually taking these brainstorms into a strategy for these clients and then pushing it and going live. And I think that really like spoke to about how much Cara really does want to make sure it's an inclusive agency, making sure that even people who don't have the budget, who do have a message that needs to get across, come out and be able to get that message out there. And like we also partner with the Ad Council, where we give them leftover budget from our clients if they allow us to, or from the agency as a whole, to run ads for like different nonprofits. So I know one that we're working on right now is to like help end gun violence, and to how that really affects us all. So I really think Kara and the Dan agencies as a whole are really working towards the UN sustainability goals, specifically the innovation, industry, and infrastructure, gender equalities, reducing inequalities, and partnerships for the goals. I think all of these goals like really embody who Kara is, with like Women in Kara and all the different panels that they have around that, and just having women in the industry that are leaders. I think that's really working towards ending the gender inequalities and working towards reducing them like the UN wants. I really think having diversity, inclusion, having different trainings every month, and just being able to like have open discussions and have ads that are running that are diverse is really like working towards reducing diversities, even if it is on such like a superficial level. Hopefully this is like starting deeper conversations. I just think the way that Kara and the Dan networks run really do change the industry of advertising. I think being able to like have such an inclusive workspace, and having a workspace that encourages collaboration, whether that be within your own agency or across the different agencies within the network, I think is something that isn't really present in a lot of agencies yet, but it could be in the near future. And by partnering with like different organizations and doing the hackathon or ad council, we really are trying to make some smart partnerships that are helping the UN reach these goals.
How you're presenting yourselves. As far as the product is concerned, we're a company that is wide open to all products. Wigs, weaves, straight hair, kinky hair, curly hair.